see our children suffering. It is hard to see our children.
I love you, mommy. I love you, daddy.
It is hard to see our children been molested and left them traumatized with a lifetime of pain. You pedophile, why do you take away their innocence? Oh, you pedophile, why do you hurt them?
Mommy, daddy.
You pedophile, how do you feel when you do what you do? You left them broken to pieces, with tears in their eyes. Mothers, listen to your children. Fathers, listen to your children.
Save the children.
Voices of the innocent. Mothers, speak to your children. Fathers, speak to your children.
Save the children.
Voices of the innocent. Save our children. Save them. Save our children.
I love you, mommy. I love you, daddy. Save the children.
Save our children. Save them. Save our children. 'Cause they are the future of this nation. Protect the children. Protect them.
Save the children.
'Cause they are the voices of tomorrow. Protect the children. Protect them. Protect the children. 'Cause they are the voices of tomorrow.
Mothers, listen to your children. Daddy, listen to your children. Save your children.
Words so profound and so true. Words there from a brand new song that soon to be released, I should say, from Jermaine superstar Simon, written and produced. As we update and try to keep everyone informed as to what's happening with this particular case here, as we've been following for the past couple weeks, where we have a 24-year-old man sexually molested a 5-year-old child by forcing him to have inappropriate sexual contact with him. The court ruled that he should pay a fine after his guilty verdict, a fine of a total of $2,100, $1,500 to the state, $600 to the parents for 6 therapy sessions that they deemed was necessary for the child, which we think was insufficient on its face. Following that court ruling, we had the Commissioner of Police, with advice from the DPP, appealing the case, which we then found out it was first in Grenada's history where a Commissioner of Police would file an appeal against a case on the grounds of leniency. It was too lenient on the convicted man. Following that appeal process, we then learned that Mr. Trevorson Roberts left Grenada, and everyone trying to find out and understand, well then, if he left the island, what next? We found out from the AG that he was in fact served papers before he left the jurisdiction of Grenada. So what next? You know, I got an opportunity to speak to Trevorson. Someone identified himself as Trevorsons Roberts' uncle. He initially contacted me via text message and asked that I communicate with him so we could have a conversation on what transpired and the whole matter going forward. And later on that day, he did in fact call me directly, and we had about a 30 minutes lengthy conversation on the matter. As you know, Ride Along has been at the forefront of pushing this agenda for the appeal, pushing together, pushing with his other partners to try to understand the process and to file an appeal in this particular case. Well, the uncle, the person identified as the uncle after this conversation, my understanding is that he is 100% behind what we are doing, because he deemed the entire matter as wrong. He deemed the court ruling as totally inappropriate, and he himself is looking to push documents forward to ensure that Mr. Trevorson, his nephew, gets listed on the official sex registry here in the United States. The family is not pleased, at least from his perspective of it. The family is not pleased about what was done here. The family is in fact, from his perspective, from what he's saying, from his side of the family, he's saying the family is definitely not pleased of what was done. They're not pleased by the verdict handed down by the court, and they want to make it right. So it was indeed great that the family reached out to us and wanted to get that information out. He in fact said that he would go on record and he would be more active in correcting this wrong. And again, it was a great conversation there with the uncle, a lengthy conversation. We spoke in depth in terms of what's next, and he will be, I'm sure, making some public announcements very soon. So what next for Trevorson Roberts? I want to play a clip here from GBN in the Attorney General's own words. What is to be expected from law going forward in this particular case? Check this out.
Serious emphasis has been placed on the inadequacy and leniency of a sentence in a sexual assault case involving a minor. Attorney General Dashan Ramdani says it is symbolic of the appeal made by the Commissioner of Police through the Director of Public Prosecution. He believes this is the first for Grenada and the OCS where an appeal by the prosecution was made in such a case. The Attorney General admits that this sentencing has raised serious concerns, while highlighting that the maximum sentence for a summarily charged indecent assault case is 5 years imprisonment. Ramdani adds that the other important questions that have arisen from this sentence can only be answered by the judicial system.
The complaint on the appeal is that this sentence is manifestly inadequate. Essentially, that this was not a case for such a sentence. The complaint on appeal really is that the exercise of discretion and the approach of the sentence was unreasonable and inappropriate. And as far as the inadequacy of the sentence is concerned, it is now for our Court of Appeal that must answer that question.
During the appeal, he says the opportunity will be given to listen to the rationale of the magistrate for the sentence. He highlights the possible outcomes of the appeal.
It is quite open to the Court of Appeal to impose a sentence throughout the fine that was imposed, the $1,500 fine, to say that that fine was inappropriate, a bad exercise of discretion, and to in turn impose a sentence of imprisonment. Now, if that is done, the offender was served with papers, I understand, before he left the jurisdiction, the appeal papers. Regardless, however, once the Court of Appeal makes a ruling which includes a sentence of imprisonment, then it is expected that the offender will return. But if he does not, and let me go quickly to that, if he does not, we have powers of extradition which relates to persons residing in America. In fact, for most of the world today.
The AG1 probe also confirmed that the recent sentencing guidelines, which became effective on October 1st, do not cover sexual assault at this time. Joseph Kador, GBN News.
Thank you there, Joseph Kador from GBN News for that clip. So guys, we are paying attention. We are keeping you up to date as to this particular case. And as soon as there is any new development, rest assured that we will bring it to you right here on Ride Along. In the meantime, we all have to do whatever we can to save and protect our children.
Why do you hurt?